Welcome to Lizard Labs, where you can scale up your game faster than any other project in Web3. I'm Andy, the CEO of Lizard Labs, and if you're like me, for 3 years running, you've heard how every single game studio is going to build out a massively connected global metaverse with interoperable assets where everything is connected. The problem is that doesn't actually work. The tech doesn't work that way, the incentive and revenue structures don't work that way, and frankly, gamers don't freaking care if you drop their Counter-Strike sniper rifle into their League of Legends character's hands and let him go play with it. No, most studios that raised off of this construct have delivered poor quality, boring experiences, they've produced delay after delay in their titles, and many of them have even just given up entirely and moved on from the sector. What if you could have a do-over, knowing which projects are actually going to be building out meaningful games and invest in them retroactively? That'd be pretty nice, huh? Well, that opportunity is available for you right now with Lizard Labs. We believe, and I suspect that you probably agree, that while there's value in creating a metaverse, the execution has been poor so far. That's because gamers don't want interoperable assets. They want interconnected experiences instead. Imagine a world where gamers can unlock adventures that carry across all of their favorite titles. Gamers want to feel like their virtual lives are harmonious when they leave one game and move into the next. This is what Ready Player One was all about. The elements of this, community, playing with your friends and your family, your identity, maintaining a consistent virtual persona and who you are in your games, and achievement, retaining all those memorable victories, those successes, those key moments in time. These are all topics that can be better addressed by Web3. Lizard Labs is building out these type of innovative experiences. You see, we take NFTs and IP from existing top-tier studios, and we build meaningful gameplay around them in conjunction with our partners. These could be things like cosmetic NFTs where we build gamified utility around it. Sometimes it might be a primary game asset that we build an entire new game mode on top of. And in other products, it could be meta competitions like esports tournaments larger than anyone has ever seen in this sector before. But the most important component for Lizard Labs is who we're building with. We already have a successful product out with Illuvium in our Battle in the Beyond platform that I'll share with you shortly. If you look at this sector, there are probably 20 studios that seem like the strongest horses in the race for the future of gaming. These studios just get it. They understand that quality experiences are the only thing that matters for gamers. We've partnered with half of these studios that we believe are leaders in the sector, and the rest of the top 20 are on our radar for potential future collaboration. These are the studios that will bring our next wave of mini-games, metagames, and platforms to over the next 2 years. It's a similar construct to what we see in Web 2 with really advanced modding communities. Take an amazing game like PUBG or Dota, add some additional magic on top of it, and all of a sudden you elevate the profile of the resulting output beyond what anyone could have foreseen. You might see a lot of projects that talk about being aggregators, platforms, or ecosystem projects. In many cases, they'll tell you there are 40, 50, 100 different games that they're working with. However, when you dig into the details, you find out that there's really only 1 or 2 that stand any chance of succeeding beyond more than a year. In that case, it's not beneficial unless gamers actually want to play in the games that are built on top of these projects. I had a friend that I was explaining our business model to. She repeated back to me that the way that she viewed Lizard Labs was as a Web3 gaming blue chip aggregator project. That comparison isn't off the mark, as we're going to be heavily impacted by how successful each of these partner studios is. If you missed a chance to support these projects in their early rounds, this is a second opportunity. This model also greatly reduces the biggest risk that most game companies have. That's that of user acquisition. Instead, we have a massive advantage here, where new players are constantly being funneled to our experiences as our partner studios grow. Lizard Labs will become the nexus of Web3 gaming. Better still, if a studio that we missed has massive success, we can easily pivot and add them to our partnership list and continue to build out with them included. Because of our brand and our reputation in the sector, not a single studio that we've approached has turned us down for this opportunity. Once we have a suite of products with the top studios, we have an amazing flywheel that begins to go into effect, where gamers are going to see Lizards incorporated across every one of the games they play on a regular basis. Over the last 6 months in our first phase, we successfully developed and launched the Battle in the Beyond platform. Soon, we're going to be launching the Elemental Lizard Collection, targeted directly at gamers. Next up for us is our Phase 2 activation, in which we're going to be establishing 3 different sub-teams to develop with a trio of studios at a single time. Our expected build times are in the 4 to 6 month mark on average, and we're targeting no longer than 9 months for a single product launch. The best part is that while each of these products can stand on their own, they allow us to create a series of interconnected experiences that tie in Lizard Labs with each one of our partners. Having a holistic metaverse experience is something that everyone dreams about, but it only works and is meaningful if you connect it to these games that other players are playing anyways. This means tying together the art, the game mechanics, the lore, and the communities is critical. I suspect by now you can easily see how this allows us to move into Phase 3 of our activation plan. As you're playing with all of your favorite game titles across Web3, you're also falling for those lovable lizards. This allows us many opportunities to lean into commercialization, IP sales, and licensing of the Lizard brand. In this case, we've turned an army of gamers into a legion of fans that love our brand, our community, our IP, and are absolutely happy to join with us in anything that we want to build out across the sector. So, let's see how this has worked out with our very first product with Illuvium in Battle in the Beyond. So we took the concept of the box opening gamification mechanic in Counter-Strike and applied it to Illuvium. In Illuvium's case, they call their boxes discs, and each disc will contain 2 Illuvatars, which are beautiful creatures, and then 3 accessories. You can then personally combine those accessories with the Illuvatars to make a highly customized profile picture that you use in any of the Illuvium games. We've added now 2 core elements that didn't exist before. The first is that we've turned a single-player experience into a multiplayer battle. The second is that we've now given additional utility to what was primarily a cosmetic skin line before. Many players have no interest in purchasing cosmetics if it won't help them in their main game. However, by creating an entirely different game mode that didn't exist before, this allows us to have a tremendous amount of utility for Illuvium, and it allowed us to create a one-of-a-kind affiliate sales model. We've got links for the platform in the back of our pitch deck, or you can go visit us at battleinthebeyond.io and try it out for yourself. Regardless of how nice you think our platform is, at the end of the day, the market is always going to be the one that decides if you have market fit or not. So here's what our traction looks like from the Battle in the Beyond platform. The number 1 KPI that we set for this phase was platform dominance. We define this as the number of discs that are open in our platform versus in Illuvium's. So far, we were very successful in reaching 71% in this metric. In addition, we've seen over half of the Illuvium players that are in Beyond that have tried our platform out. And of those, over 83% are repeat customers. In terms of our execution, we nailed our targeted launch window with 3 days to spare, and we were over $11,000 under budget below our target for this MVP build-out. Not many Web3 gaming studios are able to say that they were both early and under budget, but that delivery execution is really critical for us at Lizard Labs. So with this platform launch being right at the end of a wave in Illuvium Beyond, what did that look like for us in terms of the overall revenue projections for the project moving forward into 2024? So we have an innovative revenue sharing model in partnership with Illuvium that provides us affiliate sales on discs that are battled in Battle in the Beyond. Additionally, we have further revenue from topics like LizPass sales, tournament hosting fees, and other cosmetics that we're able to sell in our platform. Looking at Illuvium's numbers from their PvP launch, we're projecting roughly $400,000 of annual revenue by the end of 2024 on an 80,000 player base for Illuvium. Now, this could obviously scale to be more or less based on their overall open beta launch. If Illuvium can manage to take over the next 3 years 10% of the current player base of Teamfight Tactics, this would result in over $10 million annually in terms of revenue for Lizard Labs. Now, a 10% market share might sound like a lot, but when you recognize that there are literally no other competitors in the auto battler genre for TFT, this is a good, but certainly not impractical amount. We also have a huge secret advantage on our side in terms of cost as well. As mentioned before, our onboarding costs to Lizard Labs for new players are incredibly low. The reason for this is that Illuvium, along with our other future project partners, are going to be incentivized to funnel players directly to our platforms through revenue sharing. So, why is Lizard Labs able to ensure that we have such a massive advantage in being able to partner with the best studios in Web3 gaming? That advantage is based in our DNA from the very first moment that we hatched out of those lizard eggs. As a project, we began as a group of builders, traders, and investors in the Illuvium community. We launched an NFT project that quickly turned into a Web3 gaming investment DAO. And for the first year afterwards, we were an angel in the sector, continuing to fund early stage projects that showed the most promise. Our current community is now over 1,600 strong, absolutely rabid members who are focused across the Web3, gaming, and DeFi sectors. In March of this year, our community took the decision to add an equal focus to building in Web3. As a result, we raised $500,000 in our pre-seed round earlier in 2023 and built out the Battle in the Beyond platform that you saw just minutes ago. In addition, we have the Elemental Lizard collection that's going to be launching in the second quarter of 2024. The art and utility of these lizards is going to be unrivaled in Web3 gaming. Now that we've shown the quality of our ability to execute and the market fit of our vision, we're ready to scale and replicate it. There's a reason that I've always referred to Ethlizards as the Web3 gaming mullet. We've got serious building going on in the front, but at the same time, there's a party going in the back in the Underground Lizard Lounge. While our brand is fun, irreverent, and memey, our ability to execute is anything but. We've assembled an absolutely cold-blooded killer lineup of builders. Our leadership team has no one with less than 15 years of relevant technical and leadership experience. We've got a multitude of core contributors, both full-time team members and a heavy number of volunteers in the Ethlizards community that have been through the wars over the past years, both in Web3 gaming and in the gaming industry in general. As a result, we've been able to execute at a very high level in very, very short time windows. Additionally, we have some fantastic backers who in many cases have themselves been Ethlizards from day one. I could go through the names, but guys like Robbie and Anton and Kane and Aaron need no introduction for anyone who's been familiar with Web3. And our lead advisor, as well as janitor in Kieran Warwick, has been an integral part of the Ethlizards ecosystem from day one. He personally has shown the ability to build an amazing team at Illuvium with an interconnected series of games of his own. He and I have worked very closely from the very beginning in the Ethlizards project, and through the building process he remains an important asset for us. Early this year, Kieran asked me, why didn't I think Ethlizards could become as big as Yuga or Pudgy Penguins or Azuki? I told him I thought it was the wrong question. I think the right question is, why shouldn't Azuki or Yuga or Pudgy want to become as big as Ethlizards? Because I think that we have one enormous advantage that those studios don't have, and that is that they're building in the wrong order. They started with the approach to build a community, a brand, and an IP, and now they're trying to figure out how in the world can they build a game that attracts their current community. That's hard, damn hard. It's unlikely that any of them will ever succeed at the level that a typical top-tier game studio will in achieving true recognition and stickiness of the gaming community. We're taking completely the opposite approach. Instead of building the brand and the community first, we're building the gaming IP and the gaming products. And once we have gamers that are actually interested, because we've built on top of the top Web3 game studios in the sector, then they begin to fall in love with our brand and our IP. We continue to grow our community through the success of games that we know are going to be good quality, instead of hoping to build a good game afterwards. Certainly, this is a different approach than those other studios are taking, but we believe it puts us in the top echelon of Web3 NFT projects. As a lifelong gamer, I know that gamers don't give a crap about lore or IP or community or branding unless you give them a gaming experience that they want to play in. But if you turn them into fans through doing that, they will buy into anything that you want to build as a studio. So here's what I'm asking you to buy into: the Lizcoin token. The Lizcoin is going to be the native governance token for the DAO building this series of games and experience that I've just shared with you. With a total of 100 million tokens, we have a slightly longer lock schedule than most projects for the team and for early stage investors like yourselves. That's because our team and our project are here for the long haul in Web3. We intend to be one of the few gaming studios that exists and is growing 10 years from now. If you're looking for Web3 gaming projects that are built to last and not just short-term plays, then we might be the right project for you. We all know where the market is right now at the end of 2023. Capital is still very precious, and lockups aren't ideal either. So to mitigate some of the risk of this challenge for you, we've added a 10% liquidity premium for tokens from the seed round. These tokens are going to unlock at TGE. They will be eligible then for the revenue distribution program that requires both staking and active participation from our community members. This also enables governance voting for the subDAO that's focused on our products and experiences. Starting at the 2-year mark after TGE, we'll begin a revenue distribution process, again, for only active stakers and folks that are involved in our community across our different products. Our tokenomics model has been built over the past 3 years by a host of advisors that know Web3, gaming, and DeFi very well. We believe that we're compliant and effectively able to address the specific challenges that we've seen by many projects over the past years. So, what's the opportunity for you now? We're raising a total of $5 million at a $20 million valuation to scale our operations. We're going to use those funds to build 3 sub-teams. This lets us diversify our product portfolio across multiple different titles in the sector. This includes different genres as well as different building teams. I asked you at the start of the presentation what it would be like to have a second shot to invest in some of the top Web3 gaming studios, knowing what you know now. This is your chance to get a little bit of a do-over. You get an experienced team in Lizard Labs who's been around the industry for decades. You get a revenue-generating product that's already launched in Battle and Beyond with one of the top studios in the sector in Illuvium. And you get an incredibly well-established and knowledgeable community in Ethlizards alongside us to build in the future. Lizard Labs, the Ethlizards community, and I want to ask you to join our kick-ass table of supporters as we build out the nexus of Web3 gaming. We have a long-term vision, and we need some long-term partners willing to step in with us to grow this industry to the potential that it can be. So, are you ready to scale up your game with Lizard Labs? We have 4 different pathways available that you may be able to get involved with Lizard Labs. Before I get into those though, I want to encourage everyone to always be safe. If you receive a link, an offer, or a DM from someone offering unsolicited or free tokens or airdrops, be very, very skeptical. Assume that anything that sounds too good to be true absolutely is and is probably a scam. If you have questions, please jump directly into the Ethlizards Discord and ask there. One of our core contributors or moderators can answer those for you directly. So that being said, how can you participate in the seed round of Lizard Labs? Firstly, if you're a current Ethlizards holder, the process is fairly simple. We're going to put an announcement very soon in the Ethlizards Discord showing the process for participating with our based VC partners. You'll need to have USDC available with a maximum allocation of $5,000 per Genesis Lizard and $2,500 per Venture Lizard. Follow the steps that you'll be given in the Ethlizards Discord and you'll be able to participate directly as a current community holder. Let's say that you're not a holder of Ethlizards today, but you're interested in becoming one. In that case, go to Blur and find a Genesis or Venture Ethlizard prior to the round closing on December 19th. At that point then, go to the Ethlizards Discord and use the Collabland bot to verify in the Verify Asset channel. At that point, I want to welcome you officially to the Underground Lizard Lounge. You'll be able to participate directly in the round then via the same steps I just outlined for our current Ethlizard holders. Let's say, lastly, that you're not a current Ethlizard holder and don't intend to become one, but you are someone who's representing a VC, a syndicate, or another accredited investor. If so, contact me, Annie, directly at investors@ethlizards.io, or you can contact me on Telegram at nmositas1. With questions, or if you want to express an interest in participating in the round, I'll be happy to hear that and also talk to you directly and give you some more details about the contents of what we're doing at Lizard Labs. If the round is already closed by the time you're hearing this recording, don't panic. We're going to have Lizcoin tokens available in a public sale later on in 2024 after this round has closed. This is intended to be available on both centralized and decentralized exchanges following the round closure. We look forward to having you join Lizard Labs in the infinite nexus of Web3 gaming. We love all of our lizards, especially our loyal lizards. They make sure that we're doing all the right things. And so on this slide, we've got some key information that you might need to know about participating in the seed round. Please make sure that you review it along with all the disclaimers before following up with contact to get involved in this round. Thanks for your attention.